You know, the S&P has returned, S&P 500 stock index has returned 10% a year plus, just a little over 10, for 100 years. That was enough to turn $1 in 1920 into $15,000. That's a good rate of return. Today, you can get equity-type returns from what we call credit instruments, loans, corporate loans, loans for buyouts. You can get high single digits on high yield bonds and leveraged loans, public instruments that are tradable and liquid, or low double digits on private loans for buyouts. The best buyouts, the biggest buyouts, double digit returns. Isn't that enough? And loans on credit instruments, returns on credit instruments are much safer than equity. Equity just gets the residual. After everybody gets paid, they get what's left. Credit gets paid early in the process, and if people don't pay you, you get the company because they go bankrupt. So it's quite safe, and returns that are fully competitive with equities with a good level of safety.
Some people might say, why not just buy Treasury bills and go to the beach? You can get 5% or so on Treasury bills. Isn't that enough?
Not for my clients. The typical pension fund or endowment needs 7 or so. So they can't put much money in 5. The other thing about Treasury bills is that that's the return you're going to make in the next 30 days. But 30 days from now, when you get your money back and you go to reinvest, it may be 3 or 4. So you haven't tied up a return for a period of time, which we want to do.
So are you forecasting, in effect, that a lot of the money that's been in private equity or venture capital or equity-like return kind of vehicles are not going to be as popular with pension funds and endowments because they can go into fixed income instruments, which are safer in your view, and given high interest rates, that's probably what they're going to do?
Well, that's what people should do. I don't know what they're going to do.
When you were growing up, did you ever expect to be an investment person? Was that what your interest was?
No, I was unformed until I left Chicago, University of Chicago.
So where did you grow up? In New York?
In Queens, New York.
Okay, yes. And your parents in the investment world?
No.
So you said, I want to go to Wharton undergrad. What did your parents say?
Ironically, I went to the public schools in New York, and my high school, which was tremendously overcrowded, offered a great range of courses, one of which was advanced accounting, and I took it and I loved it. And my dad was an accountant, so he was perfectly happy with my going to Wharton.
Okay, so you went to Wharton, and then afterwards you went to business school at the University of Chicago.
Yes. So
both places are fairly cerebral and very numbers-oriented, and after you graduated from University of Chicago Business School, did you say, now I want to be an accountant, or we want to be an investment person?
I applied for 6 different jobs in 6 fields, and then ended up going to Citibank, where I had a good summer in the investment research department.
And you were at Citi for a number of years?
I was there from 69 until 85.
And you went to TCW?
85.
Which used to be called Trust Company of the West.
Right, yes.
And TCW, you became an expert in debt financing, or debt investments, I should say.
Yes. Well, Citi actually asked me to start operations in convertible and high yield bonds in 78. Then I went to TCW in 85, and of course, as you know, teamed up with Bruce Karsh, and he had this radical idea of forming a distressed debt fund.
And at the time, distressed debt wasn't seen as an asset class that you could build a fund around, is that right?
Right, absolutely.
So you built the firm, you started in 1995, and today, how many employees do you have?
1,100.
And a number of years ago, you sold a controlling stake to a firm in Canada, Brookfield. Why did you do that?
Well, we actually, you may say we sold a controlling stake, but not control. We control.
You're still running the company.
Yes.
They have a 60-some% stake.
That's right.
Okay, so it's worked out okay?
It's working out great. Brookfield is a great partner, and we are still running the show.
Let's talk about distressed debt for a moment. You were managing distressed debt portfolio at TCW with Bruce Karsh. You set up a distressed debt fund. Now you do many more things than that. But distressed debt was what you made your name in initially. We've been predicting more distressed debt for some time as interest rates have been rising, but there hasn't been a gigantic bull market in distressed debt yet. Why do you think that is?
First of all, I want to clarify that it was Bruce who did most of the investing,
Okay.
and the record is his, not mine. I just helped him put the funds together and set the macro tone sometimes. This period of 09 through 21, easy period, easy to get money. So most bankruptcies don't occur because you have a business and it loses money, goes away. It occurs because a business borrows money, times get tough, and when it goes to refinance that loan, nobody ever repays their debts. They just refinance it. And when they go to the bank to refinance it, the bank says, you're not as good a credit as you used to be, or we don't have as much money to lend as we used to have, or our standards are higher. So it really comes from most bankruptcies or defaults are associated with a maturity which is unmet. And I think that when you go through a period when it's super easy to raise money for any purpose or no purpose, and you go into a period when it's difficult to raise money even for a good purpose, clearly many more companies are going to founder.
So is it your expectation that over the next 2 or 3 years you'll see more defaults in buyouts or real estate? It's often thought that commercial real estate in big cities is going to have a lot of defaults in the debt.
Yes, well, I think it was the long-term average default rate on high-yield bonds, for example, is close to 4% for the last, I guess I've been in them 45 years. We didn't have any years in the last 15 at 4%. It was a very low period. In the coming years, there will be some. The way I sum it up in further thoughts, I say, you found a company to buy, you went to the bank, they said, we'll lend you $800 million at 5%. Now the loan is up for renewal.